In a quiet village nestled between towering mountains and lush green valleys, lived a young man named Arjun. From childhood, he was known for his intelligence and curiosity, always asking questions, always seeking more. He was among the most educated in his village, quick to learn and eager to prove himself. Yet, despite his achievements, he carried a deep dissatisfaction within. No matter how much he accomplished, winning debates, solving difficult problems, or even outshining his peers, he never felt truly content. There was always something missing. And when things went wrong, as they often did, he would complain bitterly. Life is unfair, he would grumble to his mother. I work so hard, but luck never seems to favor me. His mother, a wise woman, would smile gently and say, "Perhaps, my son, you are looking in the wrong place for happiness." But Arjun dismissed such words. He believed that happiness would come once he achieved enough, once he proved himself, once he gained success, once the world recognized his worth. One evening, after a particularly difficult day, when his plans had fallen apart yet again, Arjun sat by the river, staring at his reflection in the water. He felt lost. "I need answers," he muttered to himself. Then he remembered the stories he had heard, tales of a great saint who lived in a distant monastery, a man said to possess wisdom beyond human understanding. The villagers whispered that anyone who sought the saint's advice returned changed, their hearts at peace. With newfound determination, Arjun decided he would find this saint and demand the answers he so desperately needed. The journey of struggles. The next morning, before the sun had fully risen, Arjun packed his belongings, a small bundle of food, a water flask, and a sturdy walking stick. He set out toward the distant mountains, where the monastery was said to be. The journey was far more difficult than he had expected. The path twisted through dense forests, where shadows played tricks on his mind. He had to cross turbulent rivers, his feet slipping on wet stones, as he struggled to keep his balance. He climbed steep cliffs, his hands scraped raw from gripping rough rocks. At night, the cold bit into his skin, and his food supply dwindled faster than he had anticipated. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, and exhaustion weighed down his limbs. "Why is this so difficult?" he muttered in frustration. "Why does fate always test me?" Yet, something within him refused to give up. He had come too far to turn back now. After weeks of struggle, with aching legs and a weary heart, he finally reached the monastery. The meeting with the saint. The monastery stood at the peak of a mist-covered mountain, bathed in golden light from the rising sun. Bells chimed gently in the breeze, and monks sat in silent meditation, their expressions peaceful. At the heart of the monastery sat the saint, a man with a radiant face. His long white beard flowing like a river of wisdom. His eyes held the depth of centuries, yet they twinkled with kindness. Arjun approached and bowed deeply. "O wise one, I have traveled far in search of truth. I am deeply unhappy, no matter what I achieve. Life feels unfair, and I find no lasting joy. Please tell me, how can I find true happiness?" The saint listened patiently, then smiled. "Before I answer, I need you to do something for me. In the corner, there is an old, cracked pot. Fill it with water from the river and bring it back to me." Though puzzled, Arjun obeyed. He took the pot and walked down to the river. As he filled it, water began leaking through the cracks. He hurried back, but by the time he reached the saint, most of the water was gone. The saint examined the pot and said, "Go back and try again." Frustrated, Arjun returned to the river, trying different ways to carry the pot. He covered the cracks with his hands, walked faster, even tried wrapping the pot in cloth, but each time, the water leaked before he reached the saint. Exhausted and exasperated, he finally collapsed in front of the saint. "This is useless. No matter how many times I try, the water keeps leaking. I can never fill this pot." The saint chuckled. "Exactly. Just like this cracked pot, your mind is full of negativity, complaints, and dissatisfaction. No matter how much success or joy comes into your life, it leaks away because your mindset is not prepared to hold on to it." The test of perception. Arjun was stunned. "Are you saying my unhappiness is not because of my circumstances, but because of my mind?" The saint nodded. To prove this, I have another test for you. Take this bowl of milk and walk around the monastery 3 times without spilling a single drop. Determined, Arjun took the bowl carefully and began his walk. He focused all his attention on the milk, making sure it didn't spill. The world around him faded. He ignored the whispers of the wind, the rustling of leaves, and the laughter of children in the distance. After 3 careful rounds, he returned to the saint, proud of his success. The saint asked, "While you were walking, did you notice the beautiful flowers blooming in the garden? Did you hear the birds singing? Did you see the golden sunrise over the mountains?" Arjun frowned. "No, I was too focused on the milk." The saint smiled. This is what happens when you focus only on your problems. You become blind to the beauty and blessings around you. Life is filled with both challenges and joys, but your happiness depends on what you choose to focus on. The journey within. Arjun stayed at the monastery for months, learning from the saint. He meditated, helped in the gardens, and spent long hours in silent reflection. He began noticing the small joys, the way the sun warmed his skin in the morning, the sound of the river flowing peacefully, the kindness in a stranger's smile. One day, the saint gave him a task. Go down to the village and help a stranger in need. But you must do it without expecting anything in return. Arjun traveled down the mountain and met a struggling farmer trying to load sacks of grain onto his cart. Without a word, Arjun stepped forward and helped him. The farmer, surprised, asked, "Why did you help me?" Arjun smiled. "Because I can." For the first time, he felt a joy that did not come from achievements or recognition, but from simply being present, from giving without expecting. The transformation. When Arjun returned to the monastery, the saint saw the change in his eyes. "You have begun to understand," the saint said. "True happiness is not found in chasing achievements, but in embracing life with gratitude, helping others, and focusing on the good." Arjun returned to his village, no longer bitter about his struggles. He faced challenges with a newfound strength, seeing them as lessons rather than burdens. He became a source of inspiration, teaching others the wisdom he had gained. And so, the young man who once felt lost became a guiding light, proving that the power of positivity could transform even the most restless souls. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching this video.